Good morning, this is Devin from HPA Systems. Today we'll go over who HPA Systems is and talk a little bit about our AUX-Air 66 tank and the features and benefits that it has. To begin, let's talk a little bit about HPA Systems. HPA Systems is a brand name of KSI Engineering. They were developed in order to build high pressure air systems unlike anything else on the market today. This system, our AUX-Air 66, is comprised of our carbon fiber wrapped composite cylinder, the constant velocity valve, our universal bracket, as well as our adjustable regulator. If we start talking about the bracket here, this bracket has a number of mounting holes so that you can mount it in many different positions in many different ways. It can also be mounted to a roll bar, although the roll bar clamps are not included. This bracket was specifically designed to support this tank. These clips here are designed for 50,000 cycles to be able to remove and reinstall the cylinder onto the clips. The positive locking strap is exactly that. You loosen it up and remove the clips to easily be able to remove the system. They will hold the tank in place very securely when off-roading. The tank itself is covered by this neoprene cover. The neoprene cover helps prevent any chips from damaging the tank. It also is fire resistant and keeps the cylinder at a nice temperature when off-roading in either extreme cold or extreme heat. If we look at the constant pressure valve here, you can see that this gauge monitors the tank pressure. This is really nice because with CO2s it's very difficult to monitor how much capacity you have left in your tank. With this particular system, it's very easy. You can see we have close to 3,000 psi of air left. On this side here, we have the fill nipple itself. Any location that can fill a paintball tank can also fill this system itself. We have this nice dust cover there to be able to keep mud and dirt and debris when off-roading out of the constant pressure valve. If we come around to the bottom side, you'll see we have two different burst disc valves. These are safety devices. One is on the high side, one is on the low side of the constant pressure valve. The reason we have those is in case you'll end up blowing a valve instead of damaging the tank or injuring anybody. The constant pressure valve also has a nice cap on it. This cap protects the threads and the O-ring from damage when off-roading. It is recommended that you keep this cap on at all times, except when you're using the system. One of the nice things about this particular system is that it does have a cap that allows you to keep the regulator in the cab of the truck at a nice temperature, nice warm temperature when off-roading. The colder the regulator gets, the more challenging it is for it to function. The regulator can get screwed on just like that. The regulator itself has its own gauge. The gauge goes from 0 to 250 psi, although the system is only rated to go up to a 225 psi output pressure. It also has this safety universal quick disconnect that works with multiple plugs that are common in the US today. It'll also vent the air in the event that you forget to vent the air prior to disconnecting your tools. This will prevent hose wet and will also increase the safety of the system. Up top on the regulator itself, you'll see this knob. This knob is how you adjust the pressure in the system. So if you turn the system on and increase the pressure, we'll show you here. Now we're running just under 200 psi of output pressure. If we adjust the knob the other way, you may be able to hear the pressure venting from the system. So now we're back down to 0 psi. Again, that is safety to help prevent hose wet. The bracket itself is coated within a nylon coating. The nylon coating resists many automotive chemicals, also helps prevent rust. The yellow here on the bracket is a thermoplastic coating. Thermoplastic coating acts kind of as a bearing. It allows you to easily and safely remove the cylinder, whether you're using the cover or not. And what that does is prevents damaging, again, the cylinder itself. If we flip the unit over, bear with me here for a second, we'll unzip the cover here and show you the cylinder itself. Again, this is a carbon fiber wrapped composite cylinder. So the lining inside the cylinder is aluminum, and that's what contains the air. And then they wrap it in carbon fiber to give it the strength. And then they wrap it in fiberglass, and fiberglass gives a good abrasion resistance to prevent damage to the cylinder. And then they cover it in a coating, kind of like a clear plastic coating, and that gives it the nice shiny finish. This system itself is rated to 4,500 psi. It is recommended that you never exceed that pressure, although the cylinder itself is tested to withstand much higher pressures for safety. Bear with me here for a second while I flip the unit back over and stick it back in the... As mentioned, the system is designed to accept a number of quick disconnect plugs. So here, we'll go ahead and plug this into the system. You'll hear the red part clip into place. At this point in time, even if we pressurize the system, there's no pressure in the hose itself. Again, that's to prevent hose whip and for safety. In order to actually put pressure through the hose, we need to rotate this black collar. And now the hose is pressurized, and we can't disconnect the hose from the system. Again, that's safety to prevent hose whip. We have roughly just under 150 psi in the system right now. In order to disconnect the hose, we can do one of two things. We can depressurize the system by rotating this black collar back the other way. You'll hear the system depressurized, and then we can remove the plug. Or we'll put the plug back in, we'll add pressure back into the system. We can depressurize the system with the regulator itself. And then remove the hose. So two different ways to depressurize the system. Again, it prevents accidentally removing the hose with pressure in the system. Again, this is the AUX-Air 66 by High Pressure Air Systems. Please visit our website at www.hpasystems.com for more information. If you have questions, please reach out to us. We are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, Instagram, and there's also a contact us page on our website. Thank you very much.